My first contact was October 2011, and it was me and Maurice. We was together taking a trip to Texas, right? Dallas, Texas, because he was going for a music contract. So anyway, we was on the road, and you were driving. So he was driving. He's always telling me about the stars and the planets, you know. And so I'm looking up in the sky, and I'm like, "Yo, is that planet that you always talk about?" He's like, "I don't know what that is, but over here to the right is the sun, and here's the planet that I'm always talking about. There's the moon, and but we don't know what that is to our left. We're just looking at it, and you can go from there. You could tell the rest, bro."
Um, I know I was probably driving no more than 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, and it was around like 7 a.m. It was kind of in the daytime, early in the morning or whatever. The sun was out, like you said, with the moon, the sun. I think it was the planet Venus that was out, and to our left, it was something I don't know what it was. But as I'm driving, we looking at it for maybe a good minute, and out of nowhere, it just went from a star position to like literally right in front of us. It beat us from turning our heads from the left. It was already in front of us, like a light. You couldn't even tell what was in the center of it because it wasn't nothing in the center of it. It was just pure energy, and it was like the purest of energy that I can't even fathom to even describe how pure this light was, but it went from a star position to right there in front of us in a tenth of a second and just started hovering down. And I just took my hands off the steering wheel, and me and Ronald both started like
Yelling
screaming,
and
like, "Oh
screaming.
God!" Because we didn't know what was about to happen. It's like, man, we either about to get abducted or we're dead. Like this is
Yeah.
too personal. And it's like we the only cars that are literally right there on the freeway at that moment in that little area. It was crazy how that even happened too. It's like everything else, everyone started fading back and everything else started speeding ahead of us. We was the
Mm-hmm.
only one right there when it happened. So it was weird. And it was two other guys that was riding the car with us, but
Oh
one of
yeah,
them woke
cousin.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, cousin. My cousin Wayne Rim, he woke up and he was like, "What the?" And then it shot right back off into a star in a tenth of a second. And I put my hand back on the steering wheel. We just watched it and it just started fading back out slowly. And it
Mm-hmm.
just disappeared. And
Shoot,
after
after
that,
that, it seemed like we got warped in the time. It seemed like because we got from where we was at, like South Carolina, right? And next
yes, we
thing
was
I
in
know,
South
we just
Carolina.
it's like we switched drivers right after that happened. It seemed like in 30 minutes, no longer than like 30 minutes, we was already in Florida. I don't know how we got there so fast, but it just altered our whole trip. And mind you,
Yeah.
by that happening, we never made it to Dallas, Texas. We only made it to Houston.
Yeah. And
And
that's when we ended up seeing a monk that day.
yeah, we went to see a Grand Master Monk, and he kind of started
Most
talking
cases.
about that like, yeah, his name Cao Chin. He started talking about that like he's in Houston, Texas. And he was like, yeah. He said, I talk to God all the time, and God in his human form is a big Caucasian guy with a big blonde beard. And I'm like, I don't know what God, but this is what he's describing. And he was like, he said, yeah, and God also wants you to know I am that star. I am that bright light in the sky. I'm like,
Yeah.
ever since then, I'm like, I don't know if it was God, but something happened in that moment. And
Yeah, we
it
forgot to
just
talk
changed
about
our
it.
whole trajectory of life after that moment. So
Yeah.